I want to get right into this. Because Karoline, the lying bitch Leavitt, as I will always call her that, who once did this show, by the way, made a fool of herself once again, as she always does, in her press conference. So there was a press conference earlier today where Karoline, the lying bitch Leavitt, called on a guy by the name of Jack Posobiec, a guy that I have debated on the Piers Morgan show a number of times. But you see, what the White House is doing is they're putting, the Tim Pools of the world and others in that new media seat, giving them a media credential and calling on them to ask the first questions. Let me remind all of you that Jack Posobiec is the guy who started the Pizzagate scandal. He's one of the idiots that had an Epstein binder in D.C. and was embarrassed. And these are the people that they credential. Have a listen to this yourself. That's right. Karoline Leavitt, the lying bitch Leavitt, introducing the Pizzagate creator. That was a complete BS lie. Jack Posobiec asking the first question at the press conference today.
With that, I will take your questions today. Here in our new media seat today, we have Jack Posobiec, who joined us in Anchorage, Alaska last week. Jack, thanks for being here. Why don't you kick us off?
Karoline, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm not even going to replay the question that he asked or even play it for that matter. And by the way, I'll change the wording of what I just said. The Pizzagate conspiracy theory was not a scandal. It was a lie. It was made up that Hillary Clinton was running some sort of pedophile ring in the basement of this pizza restaurant. It was a lie. It put people in harm's way. And this is the type of person that they invite into the White House and give that person a press credential. It is a joke. These clowns in the Trump administration put these people in there with no credibility. But should we be surprised? Because the people that work in Donald Trump's administration have zero credibility to begin with. Now, the White House has been saying they want to get everybody on the same page when it comes to Zelensky and Putin and all these, NATO leaders in their countries. And a member of the New York Times asks what I would consider a very clear question. Have a listen to this exchange.
Hey, if the point is to get everybody on the same page, why wouldn't Trump just take the call from Putin while the other leaders were in the room? He said it would be disrespectful to do that. But why is it disrespectful?
With all due respect, only a reporter from the New York Times would ask a question like that, Sean. The president met with all of these European leaders at the White House 48 hours after sitting down with President Putin on American soil. In fact, there was so much progress in the readout that was given to these European leaders immediately following his meeting with President Putin that every single one of them got on a plane 48 hours later and flew to the United States of America. And if I could just read for all of you.
No, idiot. The reason why they all got on a plane is because they don't trust Donald Trump and they feel like they're going to push Zelensky into doing something that he shouldn't be doing. That's why they all got on a plane, you lying bitch, you. That's why they got on a plane. And you didn't answer the question, Miss Leavitt. You didn't answer the question. Or Mrs. Is it Mrs. Leavitt because her husband's like 85 years old? You didn't answer the question. If you want everybody to be on the same page, why is Donald Trump talking with Vladimir Putin in another room when you have all these world leaders sitting there? If you want to be on the same page, put them on speaker. I'm pretty sure they have the technology to do that so everybody can hear the conversation. The reason why Trump doesn't want to do that is because he wants it in private because he has something to hide. And the idea that all these world leaders in NATO jumped on a plane because they support Donald Trump and think he's doing such a wonderful job is a joke. Maybe a few of them do, but most of them were there to back Zelensky, not to back Donald Trump, who they know is working alongside Vladimir Putin because they're pals, allegedly. And then they're talking about, and Karoline Leavitt is asked about the public pressure to bring the war to a close. And listen to the credit she wants to give Donald Trump for sanctions to Russia and punishing Vladimir Putin. To this date, listen to what Karoline Leavitt says in defending Donald Trump on how tough he is on Vladimir Putin.
Look, the president has put tremendous public pressure to bring this war to a close. He's taken actions, as you've seen, sanctions on India and other actions as well. He's made himself very clear that he wants to see this war end. And he has scoffed at the ideas of others that have been raised that we should wait another month before any meeting takes place. The president wants to move and he wants to bring this war to an end as quickly as possible.
Ooh. Wow. So sanctions on India. Wow. That's really going to get Vladdy to stop all the airstrikes when all these innocent women and children are being murdered. By the way, he did that the night before their meeting on Friday. But we're supposed to accept the fact that, Putin wants to get this done for Donald Trump. What a frickin' joke. And the question is asked, what's Putin's motivation? To try to do something for President Trump. Have a listen to this.
Specifically for President Trump, though, what do you think Putin's motivation is to try to do something for President Trump, as opposed to just resolving the conflict?
I think, as I just spoke to in my opening remarks, Kelly, Russia and all countries around this world actually respect the United States again. And the president is using the might of American strength to demand that respect from our allies, our friends, our adversaries all around the world. And we've seen that not just lead to progress with Russia and Ukraine, but also we've seen it in the closing of 7 global conflicts around the world as well.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the world respects the United States again. Do you know how many people in all these countries all over the world are laughing at us and embarrassed for us? But she wants to make the case ever since Donald Trump took office that America is respected again. I mean, this has to be a joke. But, this is who Karoline the liar Leavitt is. She stands up there on a podium. She lies. She continuously spreads propaganda, attacks the media when she doesn't like what to be a credible question, or I would consider what is a credible question. And now we're learning from the White House that Vladimir Putin promised a meeting with Zelensky, as if any of Vladimir Putin's promises have any credibility to it at all. This is a murderer. This is a guy who has killed hundreds of thousands of people. But somehow Donald Trump gives credibility to Putin when he talks about how he thinks the 2020 election was rigged, obviously coddling to Donald Trump, or when he claims that he promises to meet with Zelensky. Yeah, let's trust Vladimir Putin. Let's call all the Democrats liars in this country, but let's trust an evil, murderous dictator who invaded our allies. That's what the White House is doing, and that's what Karoline Leavitt's doing.